Hey guys, Ashley here. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel, and I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. Today's build, I wanted to do a modern farmhouse. I'm not sure if I actually achieved that in this build, but I hope I did. If you guys could leave a comment below letting me know if you think that this is a modern farmhouse or if it needs improvement. Definitely would love some feedback from you guys. So this build I built on the summer home lot, which is actually quite funny because I was just thinking about building a summer home and I didn't know what this lot's name was until I was building this house. And I was like, that is just so creepy that the game knew that I wanted to build a summer house as my next house. And here I am building a modern farmhouse on this lot. So yeah, I believe there was a house here before and I ended up just bulldozing it, or was it an empty lot? I don't remember. I'd have to go check. But I got this blueprint, or like the shell of the house, off of a picture on Pinterest because I love Pinterest. It has so many amazing designs on there, and you can like copy real houses, or they have like spec houses or like drawings of houses. So it's really cool to get some inspiration from Pinterest. And then I went in and tweaked the design a bit, just because, again, trying to translate a real house, like in a picture of a house, into The Sims can be quite challenging. But I thought I did a pretty good job. There's a couple things that, I would have fixed, or I wish that I had like custom content to make like certain things just a lot better in this build. But yeah, now I'm rambling. So I decided to go for the white and black theme for this modern farmhouse, which I think most modern farmhouses now tend to go with that color scheme, or so I've seen in like their like pictures and builds and things like that. So, and I think I built this on a 40 by 30. Don't quote me on that. I'm just trying to remember from the top of my mind. But yeah, I definitely felt a little intimidated by building on a bigger lot. I have to get better at like configuring houses on larger lots. Like I feel like I don't use the lot to its full potential. Like I think that I like could have made like a slightly like larger house. But then when I actually went into trying to figure out the layout of the inside, I was having a really hard time filling all the space, because originally I had like a living room and a full dining room and a kitchen, and I had an office, and then there was this other room that I completely forgot that I had even laid out. So I kind of make that into like a walk-in like pantry. And you'll see that when we move on to the interior of this house. So for the flowers and garden area, I wanted to just stick with whites, greens, and reds. I find whenever I build a white house, I always gravitate to using red flowers. I think it just makes like the house like, or the flowers pop against the white of the house. So yeah, I definitely need to step out of my comfort zone and definitely pick other colors other than red flowers when I do white houses. I'm thinking maybe pink would be really nice, or blue. I mean, anything goes with white. And I feel like I'm rambling again, but so yeah, I just kind of spent a lot of time on the outside of this house. Even though it was a quite simple design, I ended up changing out some of the white siding and adding this brick, just to kind of like add an extra element to this house, because there was just a lot of like white siding going on. And then the fireplace, or like the chimney, was gray. So I had to throw in some gray there. And then after I finished building this house and I uploaded it to the gallery, I realized I totally forgot to change the roof. I mean, I think it works okay, but when I uploaded it to the gallery and then I added it to Instagram, I was looking at the picture and I was like, oh, I didn't even change the roof. I just used what the default was. So, I mean, going back, I probably would have picked like that black roof that kind of looks like it's like metal. If you guys know which one I'm kind of talking about, I'm really bad with like remembering the specific like names of everything. I mean, I don't know anybody who knows that. If you know anybody who actually knows the name of every item in The Sims, like, you need to introduce me to this person because that is just amazing. So another thing I realized when I'm like listening to my videos is that really dorky laugh that I do. I don't know if I do that in person or if it's just like when I'm doing voiceovers and I'm feeling like a little uncomfortable, because again, this is like completely new to me. So I feel like I go, and I like do that like little like cheesy laugh a lot. I don't mean to, but it's kind of like I think I'm like filling the void, or I feel like I'm actually talking to you guys in person, if that makes sense. I don't know if it actually does, but anyways, enough of the rambling. Let's move on to the interior of the house. So I did play around with the inside quite a bit. The upstairs was actually really easy. It was the bottom floor that was a challenge for me. I do end up going back in and changing. Again, I turned the dining room into a bathroom, and then also kind of like a little like reading nook / little library music room, which you will see in this build. And for such a large house, I didn't realize until like after the fact that the kitchen was quite small. Not saying that I was going for a large kitchen in this house, but the fact that, you know, there's this huge house and kind of a smaller kitchen, and then adding that walk-in pantry. I mean, I could have utilized that space maybe a little bit better, but this kitchen is probably like my favorite kitchen that I've done so far. I know it's like fairly simple, but I just really liked the items that I added to this build, and I made it feel very lived in. It just, like, with the coffee cups and the cutting board and all of the clutter in the kitchen, it just gave me such like a homey vibe. Like, I really, really liked how it turned out. And then for the color scheme throughout this house, I did go for neutrals, more browns, which again is not something that I usually go for. I usually do like white, black, and gray, but this time I really wanted to use like the warmer colors and kind of tie into that like cutting board. I know that's really silly, but those cutting boards I just got because I just purchased the pack that those come with, and I just love the colors of those two cutting boards, so I kind of played off of that for the rest of the house. And I did use a lot of items from that, I think it's Cool Kitchens or Cool Kitchen pack. But yeah, I definitely went in and used almost like every item from that pack in this kitchen, just because again, when you get something new, you kind of are excited to try like all of the items that come with it. So the kitchen, again, I just went in and I made it feel very lived in. Just added like some plants and cutting boards and knives and cutlery, and then just a little rug under the sink, which actually is very similar to the rug that I have in my house. I have that one in my office and also a very similar style one in the kitchen. So I thought that was kind of cool. And pretty much that was it for the kitchen. Just added some curtains, and I know that I did add like those curtains above the sliding glass door. I don't know if that impacts the Sims exiting through that door. I'd have to like play test it and try it out. which is something I also have to do. I really have to get better at play testing these houses because I try to build them to the point like where I know that everything's going to work, just because I have such limited time like building houses and then editing the videos and doing the voiceovers. I don't really have time to go through and play test them, which I know sounds awful, but I do need to get better at actually doing that. So if you guys ever download these houses and you come across like any issues, just send me a message or write in the comments or like DM me or message me on Instagram. I will definitely look into that and make note of that for future builds. So yeah, I just went back into the kitchen, used some debug items like baking supplies and coffee cups, again, just to kind of give it that lived-in vibe. And I tried to stack the coffee cups, like kind of make them like look like they were like sitting or like sitting within each other. Didn't work. So again, like I said, I am getting better at using that red shelf, but I still like have some issues with using it. So now I'm on to the living room, and I just wanted to tie in with that neutral theme. So I picked this fireplace, which I have never used before, and I don't know why, but I love it. And then I was going to try to do bookshelves, like built-in bookshelves on either side. And I ended up scrapping that idea and just putting like some vases and plants. And you can see I used like a plant and then used a vase and put them together. And then I started pulling out a whole bunch of items. And I thought that the family here, maybe the mom really loves like chickens and roosters. So that's why I pulled out all of the chicken and rooster like statues and decor and placed it around the living room. Because I don't know if you're like me, but I knew a friend of the family and they were obsessed with pigs. And they had all of those like tiny little pig statues around the house. And everyone always used to buy them like pig type themed things for their birthday and Christmas and other things like that. So I thought that the mom here, maybe she loves like roosters and chickens, and so everyone always buys her like roosters and chicken decor, which I thought was kind of cute because I just love that. I think that's just adorable. So I went in with, again, very neutral furniture just to tie in with the curtains. And again, I always have trouble finding that perfect like rug to go in the space, but I ended up picking this rug and then just changing out the pattern, I believe, or did I end up completely switching it out? No, I went with this one just because it was like white and like the beige color, which I thought like just tied in with the couches. And then I went in with a lot of warm toned furniture, which again, it's not something I normally pick. I usually pick either like whites or black color or white and black and gray colors. And I'm actually really digging this light colored wood. I wanted to add kind of like more storage in this area. Like I didn't do a TV in this room, which I know is kind of like crazy. And I don't have like a secondary like living space where there is a TV. So if you guys wanted to, you could easily like remove that like armchair, like little sitting area and like add a TV there. It was kind of just like an afterthought because like by the time I added like the chairs and the fireplace, it just kind of was giving me a really cozy vibe. So I didn't add the TV because I thought that that would kind of take away from like what I was going for in the living room space. So I just added a bookshelf and added some clutter. And then this is here when I take the dining space and turn it into like a bathroom slash like music reading room. Not necessarily like a full-on library, but I just added some bookshelves and then moved on to the bathroom. And I kept the bathroom very neutral. And I think I did all three bathrooms the same. I don't really like decorating bathrooms. They're kind of like my least favorite room to decorate in The Sims. Unless I'm doing like a modern build and then I go like really crazy with like waterfalls and plants and glass. But when it's kind of just like a contemporary or like a family home, I just keep it like very simple, very maybe boring in some people's opinion. But I just kind of like that. I just think it like looks homey. And I'm trying to think of like what a real family's bathroom would look like. And I'm just thinking it would be very like simple and cozy. So that's kind of what I went for in all of these bathrooms. So yeah, just back to this little like reading slash music room. I was originally just going to leave it as like a reading room and add like an ottoman or like stools under the windows. And I realized I don't know, I just felt like it was really missing something. So that's when I went back and added a piano just because it just added something extra. And I think this is the first house that I built that I actually added a piano, which is crazy. Oh, no, I did actually add a grand piano to a house I built a while ago, but I didn't like the way that house turned out, so I ended up deleting it. Like the inside was really nice, but the outside was very odd, and I just did not like that house. So that one went into the scrap pile. And for the kitchen, I just went back in and added just a little bit more detail. So I added this like cork board and put a calendar. And I was trying to look for the postcards, like the postcards that you can add to the board. And I am sure that I have those somewhere. I could not find them for the life of me. So if you guys could leave a comment below where those postcards are or where I could find them, that would be greatly appreciated, because I'm thinking to myself, am I just crazy? Like, do I not have postcards? I thought that I did. Like maybe they're in the debug menu, but I scrolled that for so long. Like right here in this like clip, you can see I'm scrolling and scrolling, trying to look for the postcards, and I couldn't find them. So I just moved on and went back into the living room and started adding clutter to the coffee table. So this is kind of like the heart of the home. So I added just like magazines and books and like some art supplies that the kids maybe do art like projects in that room. And I also added items that this family possibly could have a dog. So I did the hooks with the leashes and the dog treats, and then added a couple backpacks. Not an overly large like front entryway, so that's why I didn't like do like any like cabinets or like front entry console tables. Just left it as a lot of like wall mounted items and then just that bench. And then I went back into the kitchen area and then realized that I had forgot about this room on the very left, which was the office. So I tried to make this office again feel like lived in, like maybe the parents work from home or the dad works from home or the mom works from home. So I added a lot of like paperwork and files and boxes of paperwork. I'm not really sure exactly what they do. I mean, maybe they're like doctors, so they like work from home a lot, and then they also go to the like doctor's office or the practice or maybe the hospital, depending on what kind of doctor they are. And then for the rest of the office, again, I just went in with some bookshelves and clutter for the shelves just to make, again, it looked lived in. And that is about it for the office. I think I just added some like pictures and a bit more clutter and then moved on from there. I don't know if it's about like you guys, but I went back into the kitchen area where I had this big room, which I didn't know what I was going to do with this room. I completely forgot about it when I was laying out the house originally. So I decided to make it like an overly large, like walk-in pantry. So added a lot of cabinets and shelving with clutter. So I added things like plates and cups and household items, like things that you would store in the pantry, as well as items like maybe like art supplies for the kids and dog food and things like that. So still trying to figure out that gosh darn red shelf. I am having like either a major hit or a major miss. Like I know I see some people like stack cups and bowls, and I think to myself, how do you do that? Like, how are you so good? I mean, maybe it just comes with like practice, but yeah, I was having a extremely hard time with that red shelf. As you can see here, I picked out a whole bunch of bowls and plates thinking I could stack them and then realizing I couldn't. So I just went in with like sippy cups, because I did make this house for a family of 5, like so 2 parents, 2 older children, and maybe like a tiny person, like a toddler or even a baby. You could switch out the toddler room I made and make it a nursery if you wanted to. But yeah, I forgot that I had to add some more curtains, so I kind of backtracked a little bit and added some curtains to the downstairs, and then I moved to the upstairs. So I did go with maybe the older kids were both girls, so I made them share a room, which I thought would be really cute. And I don't really have a backstory for them, but I'm just thinking like maybe like one is like an older kid and then the other one maybe is like 5 or 6 or 7. And they get along really good. That's why they share a room. But yeah, I just wanted to make this room like really pretty, really feminine, lots of purples, lots of pinks. And I wanted to add like a lot of clutter, but like clean clutter. Like I didn't want them to be like messy kids. So I made sure that I put everything on like the desk and the dresser. And I don't know if the Sims can get into the bed with that dresser being there, because I kind of pulled it forward because it was cutting into the curtains behind it. So if you do download this house and the Sims can't, which I'm like 99% sure that they cannot get into the bed, just push the dresser back or completely like move it to somewhere else and then just leave those beds open. So yeah, like I said, I put 2 girls in here, and I thought that maybe they, like I said, one was older, so that's why I put a laptop in here, because she does a lot of her schoolwork on the laptop, and then added a lot of arts and crafts and like school projects to the desk, just trying to make it feel like lived in. And there I go, having trouble with that red shelf again and those books. But yeah, no, I really like the way that this room turned out. I love the purple color. Purple is actually my favorite color. I love purple, and yet I do not have anything purple. Like, how insane is that? Love purple, don't have one piece of clothing that's purple or anything in my house that's purple, but I love purple. So yeah, that's a random fact of the day for you. So this room, again, just adding a little bit more clutter, clean clutter, a couple toys for the girls, and then some wall art. I really like that like unicorn. I guess it's technically like, I don't know, like would it be a decal or decal, or is it a painting? I'm not 100% sure. And then I went into the hallway. I despise decorating hallways. I find like them like so pointless. But I mean, it's a hallway, so I wanted to add like something. So I just went in and added some pictures and some plants, and then I moved on to the toddler's room. Now I'm thinking that this toddler, I mean, it could be a girl as well, but I had in mind that the toddler was a boy, so that's why I went with like the teal colors in this room. But it could be for a boy or a girl. And I wanted this room to feel, again, very lived in, so I added a lot of toys on the floor and on the bookshelf, and kept it, like I said, I went with the teal minty colors, so I kept it pretty like gender neutral depending on what kind of family that you want to have in this house. And I decided just to go in and add these cute little prints and a side table. And did I add? Yes, I did add a dresser into this room. I forgot though to add a high chair. So that is the one thing I did forget to add. So in the dining space, if you do download this house, you will need to put a high chair in. And oh no, I also forgot to put a toddler potty. Oh no. Okay, so you guys are gonna have to add a toddler potty as well. My bad. I was building this extremely late at night, so my brain was a bit of mush. Just like I'm doing this voiceover at night, so my brain is mush again. So I went upstairs and I just copied the same design, like I said, from the downstairs bathroom, same cabinet, same tub shower combination. Nothing overly exciting going on in these bathrooms, but I don't know. I just cannot care, or like I said, I cannot spend time on bathrooms. I find them really boring, and I have more fun doing like bedrooms and kitchens and living rooms. Even dining rooms are more like entertaining to me than bathrooms. But what about you guys? Do you like decorating bathrooms? If so, leave a comment below because I would love to know. Or if you have any tips on how to make bathrooms more fun, would love that as well. So yeah, I made this bathroom for like the girls to share, and then obviously the toddler, depending on, you know, if you do have a toddler or a baby. This is where you would definitely want to add the little toddler potty. And then I moved on to the parents' room. And the parents' room, I kept, again, very neutral. Went in with this bed, which I don't think I've ever used before. But I'm really glad that I did in this build, keeping in with those like neutral tones. And went back in and added some more closets, which is something I always forget to add. Like I need to add more like closets like in my builds. And I did add a TV here, which I know is kind of pointless because I don't think they can watch TV, or can they watch TV from the bed? I don't think they can, but that is definitely something that they should put in this because I feel like that's very realistic because everyone I know has a TV in their room and that's where they spend a lot of their time. They just go to bed at night and watch some TV or hang out in the room and watch some TV. But yeah, I just added a couple like extra decor pieces. Again, I didn't want to go too crazy like with adding like a lot of like furniture and clutter to these rooms because I kind of just assumed that this family like tries to keep their house as clean as possible. And with the parents' bathroom, the only thing that I did different, instead of doing the shower tub combination, I went in and just added a separate stand-up shower and a tub, which I really like. And then a little rubber ducky because they can bathe the little toddler there. And then just added some clutter to the bathroom. And I added this shelf in between, which I thought was kind of cool. And then again, just went in with some clutter, nothing too crazy. And that's about it for this build, guys. I had a lot of fun with this build. It kind of got a little tedious at the end of the build. I was kind of getting over it, so I felt like I kind of rushed the ending. Like the laundry room was just like done in like a second. Well, not actually a second, but just a few minutes. But I still like the way it turned out. I had a lot of clutter, like towels and clothes and detergent, just to make it feel like lived in again. So thank you guys so much again for tuning in and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun building it, and I really hope I achieved that modern farmhouse look. And if you guys want to see something really cool or you have an idea of what you want me to build next, just leave me a comment below. Talk to you guys next time. Bye!